everybody, what's up? This is the second video in the deep stack series I'm doing. So this is going to be at the $20 level. The first one's at the $5 level, and we'll just have a look and see what the players like at this level and see what adjustments we have to make, if any. Alright, and always starting out limping because I like to limp and see what people do. And of course paired board. Yeah, I think I have a little raise here just to see his reaction. Don't expect him to fold a 9 or a 7, but yeah, okay, so he's just having a crack there. He's leading out as a bluff, so that's one little thing we've picked up. So he's looking a little bit tight pre-flop, and he led the paired board. And hopefully, I'll have a little raise, see what he does. Hopefully we can get some sort of dynamic going where I raise him in off dry boards, and then we can sort of finally hit one and get paid off. Now, I wouldn't normally call this 3-bet, but I'm going to call just because they're super deep, and I won't be going far unless I flop a monster, which I have not, so we'll be letting this go. So that's probably one slight difference, that I would call a lot wider in the deep stack tournaments, and here we're just going to try and hit a 4 flush or a jack or give up. Yay, we've hit a 4 flush, and I think we'll just try for a little bit of value now. And better check what he had there. And he 3-bet us on King 9, which is pretty aggressive, and his big mistake was not betting the flop. I mean, why wouldn't you bet the flop if you're going to 3-bet someone? At least represent the ace. Alright, not a good flop, and this guy seems to be a little passive post-flop. Let's see if we can steal it. Yep. So, not the most coherent game that this guy's playing. Like, 3-bets me on a mediocre hand, doesn't c-bet the flop, and then the next hand he raises and doesn't c-bet, and that looks like a pretty big lick. He actually looks a little weaker than the two guys we played yesterday. And this card here is not a good card. I'm never going to push him around when it's a 3 flush on the board, so I'll just give this up. If he's got an ace or a jack or a 2, I don't think he's going to... Well, he might fold the 2, but yeah, not the best spot. And all yours, sir. So looking at board texture, when the third heart comes there and I just tried to steal it, it's not such a great spot. And now he's folding pre-flop. Folding this deep, I wouldn't be folding anything this deep. It's a little weird how people play. And looking how long he pauses, and this time I would expect him to have something, seeing he bluffed a dry board, and now he's actually going to be betting for value, I would think. I don't think he would make the same move twice. I could raise it in order to set up a dynamic where, you know, every time he donks out I raise, and then when I actually hit I'll better get some value out of it. But I think you know, I'll save that trick for later on if I need it. And how weird is he's just sort of folding bunches of stuff pre-flop, like 150 blinds deep against someone who is not attacking his limps. But fair enough, he's entitled to do whatever he wants, and it's up to me to beat him. So yeah, basically, just to reiterate sort of earlier thoughts, I'd be playing everything in these heads-up games. I wouldn't be folding anything pre-flop when we're this deep, and if I raise and get a small 3-bet, I'm going to call. Basically, just playing pretty loose pre-flop when we're this deep and tightening up later on. Alright, got a call. A little bit of interest here. That's obviously a good card. And I might try and bet 60 here. What I'm trying to do is obviously get a call from a 5 or a 2 or something like 3, 4 or 4, 6. But I don't think he's going to put me on the jack very often. And he folds. Never mind. Maybe he had something weak like 4, 6. Pocket 10s. I think I'll raise his limp, and I'm not really going to try. I don't really want to get in pre-flop with 10s at this stage. And a pretty good flop where I've hit the second pair and a gutty, and he lets it go. So he's looking a little tight post-flop, which is all good. So against a tight play like this, anytime he checks, I'm going to bet any time that he calls one barrel, you know, I think I can push him off possibly on the second barrel, but I might be wrong. Let me see what else. Even if he's raised and he checks, I can quite possibly push him around. So if, for example, he raised in position and checked me, I'd fire the turn a lot of the time. And yeah, he's just generally fairly tight, perhaps too tight. These guys do still exist. They're here in the deep stacks, the tight guys. This is where they live. I might bet a little bigger just to try and discourage a curiosity call. Nope, not happening. And I wonder what he's got here. Normally I have some sort of idea what sort of hand they've got. Here nothing is coming to mind except for a jack. Oosh. Or two clubs, I guess. I can't imagine him calling that second barrel on the 3. Yeah, maybe a club flush. Or the jack. I think in hindsight the jack. So there was my theory about firing a second barrel. Didn't quite pay off, but I think he had a stronger holding. But it's all good, so, you know, whatever dynamic has been created, I'll try and take advantage of that later on by, for example, firing second barrels when I hit, oh yay, top pair for me, yum yum. I'm not going to get too excited in this spot, especially when you bet 60 and a 180. Could be weak, could be a trap. If he follows up with a 300 bet, I'd be a little worried, but the second 60, I think he's got something like ace-8, or maybe even pocket 9s. And not a great river. Don't bet too aggressively, please, sir. Good man. I'll check it behind there. And he has. Let's have a look and see what that last hand was. And he had, where is it? And he had, I'm trying to find the hand here. I had ace-8, as I suspected. So he's pretty much betting according to his hand strength. Alright, lead out here and get the fold. Nice, thank you, sir. So at the $20 level, not a particularly intimidating player to come across. I'll just fold that up. Pretty obvious when he's got something. He's like betting full pot, and sort of bet sizing according to how strong his hand is, and just folding a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you know. I think unless this guy coolers me or I make some silly error, that this guy's very beatable, and it should encourage people that are playing the 5s or 10s to maybe you know, hunt out some people like this. I think I'm going to raise him here, or I'll just bet if he's not going to bet. Interesting. Not sure what he's got. I think he's simply not believing me, or he's caught a 9, and that's now kind of a crappy spot. Oh, at least we get to see his hand. Is he going to come up with the king? Yeah, king X. Alright, so he's just calling on king high there, which is pretty standard, I guess. And now he's actually caught me bluffing for the first time in the match. So let's see how that changes his approach. And picked up a little draw here. 7 would be a really nice card, please, sir. And he's not looking too strong here. But who knows? Yeah, 6 is kind of a shit card. I mean, it's good, but it's going to keep me in the hand if I'm losing. Alright, I'm out of there. So perhaps his initial bet size is just always sort of weak in order to judge my strength. That could be something he's also doing. And that bet in position is just worth thousands of dollars, game after game. People, you know, check back, and you fire and just take down the pot, just like we're doing here. And stabbing out is one of the things which, when I look at my students that have done the HeadsUp course, they don't, before they start the course, stab out enough. And even once they've done the course, where I'm encouraging them to stab a lot, they get better at it, and some of them are very good at it. But just donking out and betting in position can just put tight players under so much pressure, and they fold and fold and fold, and you do not need to have a hand. And of course, alright, we'll just call one little bit of junk because we're so deep. We can catch one hand. Nope. The other side of that, of course, is checking when you've actually caught a good hand and letting them catch up and sort of disguising it that way. So calling 3-2 offsuit's obviously a little bit loose. I just think we're so deep. I'm going to try and catch a flop and maybe fold him if I can pick up a lucky straight or something. So here, I'm going to check back and try and trap him a little bit. Ooh, interesting bet. I think he's got an ace here with or either that or 2 pair. I think he's got king 2, alright, let it go, or ace 2, or an ace of hearts, maybe, and another heart, something, a pretty strong hand. I was just calling there to see if I could suck out, but now I'm going to give it up. So yeah, he does seem to bet according to the strength of his hand. Let's have a little raise here. And we wait. And he folds. So yeah, I could be a little bit more aggressive pre-flop, but I'm kind of saving that up a little bit for later on in the match. Alright, let's have another raise, see how that works. And he folds again. Super tight. Very nice, sir. And still folding. I think it's time to limp. Yes, I can. Alright, I better fold. I better raise my 3-2. Just because I don't really want to play it. Oh, we got 3-bet. It's a small 3-bet. Let's call and felt him with 3-2, can we? Yes, we can. Alright, he's going to make his... Oh, he makes a big bet here. I might raise him straight away then. And he has... Ace 10. That, sir, is pretty weird. And... all I can say is how bizarre. But you do see the advantage of calling loose super deep. That's one adjustment that I would make in these deep stack games. I'm basically not folding much pre-flop. Alright, that's the first match. Let's go and find someone else for the second one. Okay, so here we've got the second match against King of Tigers at the $20 level, deep stack. Let's see how this one goes. And as you know, just a few reminders, I'll be calling pretty much all 3 bets and raises pre-flop on any 2 cards, and you can see from that last game why that's profitable. And I'm going to treat the guy as tight until I find out otherwise. And alright, I'll let you have that one, sir. Just do my normal limping thing and see what I can find out from him. Oh, the overbet. This is weird. This is like the second match in a row where people are overbetting. How odd. I know you do see it a little bit at the lower levels, but 2 matches in a row is a bit odd. Alright, obviously calling this. I'd be calling this for 3x raise. And nice flop, sir. That's not going to do much good. And you can fire away. And this small bet size, he could be sitting here on quads, trying to trap me. Very possible. And now I'm just going to let that go. So far not much happening, only a couple of hands in. Let's try limping and see if he wants to attack my limp. Nope. And this looks like a decent spot for us. Have a stab, and I'm going to call if he check raises me. Yeah, this guy seems to think he's got it an awful lot of the time, and I'm not sure that he does. Yeah, so he was just check raising me on rubbish there, so he's a little bit aggressive. He's got a little bit of game, this boy. That's going to make things interesting, and obviously I'm calling 4x here. And I'll call up to 120 to try and hit my gut shot and then give up. Yeah, that's perfect. King, please. Nope. I think I'm going to check behind here and possibly call if he bets on the river. Alright, the king would have been a nice card. So he's a little bit aggressive, this boy, but not unreasonably so. Check raising me on my stabs and that sort of thing. I like that. Good to have someone who looks still interesting. Alright, we'll flat this, hit a 4 and felt this guy. Or not. Yeesh, alright, we're calling 1 barrel here. I know he's going to fire big. That's just a horrible, horrible turn. I think I'll check behind and give up. And now I'm really giving up. That's horrible. Yep, okay, 4s beat 3s most days. So he's certainly a little aggressive, this boy, which I like to see. It's going to make the match go perhaps a little quicker, and all I've got to do is hit a hand or two and let him sort of spaz into me. Not the best of turns. He can bet this fairly aggressively and force me to fold. I think I'm beat here. Alright, I'm calling one more barrel and giving up. Unless we get a magic river, which we don't. Not happy here. And oh, 2s. Interesting. He's a little bit spazzy post-flop, this boy, putting me under some pressure. I'll raise this just to see how he reacts. And he folds. Good stuff. So I'm being a little stationary, but the guy is bringing it out in me, you know, this, the way he's playing. Alright, 7-2, let's see what happens if we raise again. Instant call from him. Not a bad flop, but sort of flop I wouldn't be surprised if he got very aggressive on with a 6 or an 8. That's good. We're not seeing too much aggression from him. I like that. Don't want him sort of re-raising me on the flop, just want him calling. And that's not a bad river card for me. I can check behind and hopefully beat a 6. And check what he had there. He had a 6. That was 6-10. So no surprise. That was kind of what I was hoping he was going to have. Have a little stab here, see if he wants to attack me. No. Alright, maybe he's tightening up. I mean, he's lost a few pots in a row. He's not running too good either. Running sort of 4s into 3s and 3s into 4s. And I would raise him on this flop if he bet, simply because I don't think it's going to hit his range in a limped pot. I think I could push him around in that spot. Pseudo connectors, will be calling these if it's not too expensive, and min raise is not too expensive. And we'll just give up when we miss a horrible flop like this. All yours, sir. Alright, we'll raise our 3-2, just because he has been folding to our min raises. Well, he did fold to 1. Interesting little flop. Is he going to spaz? No, he's not. I'll just make a standard C-bet. If in doubt, bet. And if he raises me, he raises me. But until he does so, I'm not going to be folding. And can we catch? No, we can't. There you go, Chief. All yours. He might have hit that. He might be playing me as well. He is pretty aggressive. And min raising seems to be the order of the day. Let's try and catch like we did. And I think I have to get it in here. If it's a cooler, it's a cooler. Bet please. If you've got 10 jack, you win. Oh, he's disconnected. So I flop what I think is the nuts and he disconnects. Oh no. Oh, that's so sick. This guy's fairly aggressive. Oh, he's back. Alright, brilliant. Now we can bet and get some action out of him. And he folds. Oh, that so sucks. That's not the best of timing when you flop pretty much what you think's the nuts and the guy disconnects when he's been fairly aggressive. That's poor timing. And I think he might be getting a little aggressive because he disconnected perhaps, who knows. Just check this. I want to control pot size. Try and pick up a free 2 or a heart. And if I do hit, I'm just going to check. And now I've got an extra big draw. I've got an overcard, open ender, and a flush draw. And let's try and get some action. Come on, buddy, you can bluff me. I'm very bluffable. There we go. And just whack it back up there. And I think, did he have the queen or the jack? Let's have a look. He had the queen. That, sir, is a bit of a cooler for him. Maybe I could have shoved on the river too and got his whole stack. I don't know. I'm calling this, of course. Ace king, it's a flip. I'm running good. I run good. I run very good. Alright, that's the second match. Let's try and play one more, probably against a different opponent, and see how we go. The third match, and I actually sat a 30 instead of a 20. Wasn't getting the action at the 20s, and there was someone sitting at 30, so I thought I'd drop by and say hello. So let's see how the 30 goes. Haven't checked this person's stats or anything, and all those people that want me to play, you know, fantastic players and regs, and disappointed if I play poor players, let me say you do need to get good at making money against those people, because that's the majority of the people you play. That's my first point. And second of all, you simply, if you have a look at the history of the videos that I've made, this is a horrible board to bet, I'm going to have a crack though. If you have a look at the history of the videos I've made literally dozens of videos against very good players. I mean, against winning regular players. So, you know, when I'm playing these lower stakes, I've just got to play who I get. Alright, this person's looking a little tight, folded on a pretty wet board, hasn't raised pre-flop, hasn't attacked my limps or anything. And quick check, whenever I see a quick check, I do think the person's about to fold. So that's something that you can keep in mind. From these live videos, you can see the timing of the opponent, and when the opponent's just instantly checking like that, the chances that you can steal are huge. Alright, picked up a gutty here, and not going to pay full pot for a gut shot there. And I think I'll just keep limping and seeing how Zoe Poker handles it. And Zoe's in Australia. Oh, cool. A fellow Australian. Alright, now when they just call here, I often think that they're going to turn up with like the 10 jack or queen. So here, just a little bet to look weak and hopefully get some action. Not a nice river there. That is another possibility, the spade flush. Alright, and she folds. So I would say it was either the 10 or the jack. And that turn bet size was just trying to entice, in case she wanted to have a crack. And not going to bet a flop this wet out of position. Let that go. As does she. Alright, we'll have a crack on the turn then. And pretty fishy line. Do you believe me, man? Yes, you do. So we have a believer, someone that actually is super tight. This is amazing. All the games I've been playing, that people have been reasonably tight. Alright, obviously not me. And we miss. Wonder if I could mess around on this board. I think I could if she's got over cards. If she's got an over pair, she's about to shove. And she shoves. Alright, timing for the win. So that must have been 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, or aces. Which is fine. Alright, my turn to raise one, see how Zoe likes it. And pretty good flop. With a gut shot and top pair, but don't really like all those spades, so I'm going to be a little careful. Alright, I wouldn't be looking to get my stack in there, because one little spade and I'm cooked. Alright, stab the dry paired board and get the fold. So yeah, I mean, basically against a player like this, I can just stab, 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 and take a whole bunch of pots off her and take her out of the game that way, and not take any risks. There's no real need for me to be making silly moves like I did. Alright, we'll just call wide, because you know what's going to happen if I catch 3, 4, 5, and I don't. Alright, so haven't caught any miracle flops, but if I call enough I'm going to. Just while the blinds are low, of course. Trying to hit that miracle and felt Miss Zoe Poker. Alright, middle pair here, and not low enough to trap with. Alright, goodo. So yeah, I wouldn't bother trapping if I had a low pair like that. I'd want like a queen or a king, maybe an ace or something like that. Alright, let's call in some more junk, and completely miss the flop and give up. Alright, not sure what a bet sizing means, perhaps weaker in that spot, or even stronger, who knows, I suspect weaker. So this might be another player who is betting according to the strength of their hands. Horrible flop here for me to try and steal. I'm just going to check it down. These medium wet flops, you just don't get many folds on. And I'm going to have to give this one up, I think. Can we bink on the river? No, we cannot. And are we going to split? Yes, we are. Okay. So no big deal there. And I guess maybe I get a little bit of credit for turning up with, you know, not stealing one. Who knows? Can we catch that magic flop? No, we cannot. Oosh. Would like to bet this. Think she's going to have stuff like Ace-7 or Ace-8 a lot, and maybe a Jack. We're going to find out. Alright, cool. So we love those type players. Very bluffable. Let's have a little raise here. See how she handles it. Folds. Type players. I love them. Surprised at how many type players there are in the deep stacks. Yeah, I mean, I know she's raising a lot, but relatively tight post flop. And I could have a crack here, or I could just walk away, and I think I'll walk away. So, suspect from the bet sizing that he's not that strong there, or she's not that strong. Alright, min raise, how does that work, Chief? Insta call, not the best flop in the world. Long pause, I'm giving it up. I think she's going to be calling me here, like on queens, jacks, tens, nines, whatever. Let's have a crack now. And oh, we get the fold. I'm surprised. So min raise and c-bet would work against this person too. Alright, Limpsky, and this will hit her limping range, of course, but it's always better to stab against these type players than not, and just steal if you can. I think I'll limp call this, and it would be nice to hit a flop, and we have hit a flop. I'll check here to let her catch up a little bit. Oof. Not that happy about the ace. That's like the one, you know, really awful card there. But it doesn't matter. This person is tighter than a duck's butt. I can just steal a lot. And if I hadn't been making some pretty loose calls pre-flop, I would have definitely had the lead in this one, but I took that chance. I mean, I did that in the last game, made a really loose call pre-flop, and cleaned the guy up when I flopped two pairs, so it is worth it if you can hit. Horrible flop to bet, insta check from her, and we fire, and oh, okay, so that's about the worst turn in the world. Unless we see an ace here, nothing good's happening. I can't imagine how we could possibly win this at this stage. Might start attacking her limps in a bit just for fun. See how she reacts to that. I suspect that there'll be a lot of limp folding going on. Alright, fire out a c-bet. Expect to get a fold. And if not, yeah, it's min raise and c-bet I think would really grind Zoe Poker down to the felt. Alright, and I've got to look to attack her her raises pre-flop. And standard c-bet from, I'm just going to flat it. If a king or an ace comes, the king or an ace comes. There it is, not a good card for me. And she doesn't think she likes it, so let's have a bet. Alright. So super tight poker at the $30 level. When I teach that course, and I say to my students, there aren't that many type players left, but this is how we deal with them. I mean, apparently there are. This is where they all hang out. Alright, I'm going to raise her here. Unless she bets, sorry, she doesn't even give me a chance to raise. Yeah, I don't think she's going to hit this flop very often, and I could have check raised her off it. Oh, I might have been trapped here. Can we hit that lovely little ace or six? No, we can't. Can't imagine what she's got. Ace four, maybe? Interesting. I was so she trapped me post flop. I was quite prepared to check raise her if she had a bet. So things worked out reasonably well for her. And I think I'll check this one behind. It's just such a horrible board. And keep it up. We've got a little bit of the old famous showdown value, and now we can split a lot of hands. Don't think I was getting a fold when she had a gut shot anyway. Alright, if she min raises this, it's time to 3-bet. Nope. Tight, tight, tight. So this sort of player, I would expect, is not getting it in on less than 2 pair. I mean, she's just super tight. So, you know, if you're sitting there with top pair and Zoe Poker raises you, guess what? Your top pair is not good. Have a stabski. Just get flat called and hit a jack. No, alright, giving us odds to hit a jack. Cannot. Now we've got more outs with the flush and with the straight draws, and we hit nothing. Yep. Had a lot of outs there, couldn't hit them, no big deal. Haven't really hit much in this entire match. Really, I just kind of feel like I've missed a whole bunch of flops and half hit, you know, had some draws that haven't worked out. But if I do hit, I think I'm going to get paid off. And not a good flop for me to check raise. Good flop for me to give up on or have a stab when she checks. Is she trapping me like she did on the 10-4 hand? Nope. She just wants to fold. Bizarre. How bizarre. So this is going to take a while. I'm going to have to grind this person down. I think it's time for a 3-bet. And what happens? I get called, which kind of surprises me. And the ace is just a shitty. This is a pretty shitty flop. I think it's going to hit a calling range, but no. I'm wrong. That's all I got to say about that. So not much I can do against someone this tight, except for just steal whenever and wherever I can, and you know, that's basically the plan. Right, when she calls like that, instead of raising, so last time she raised with top pair, so therefore I'm thinking middle pair or a straight draw, and if it's a straight draw, I'm not a happy camper, am I? And now I'm thinking that it's going to be a 10 most of the time. Possible there's a flush draw, but most likely a 10. And yeah, she had the 10, as you can see. So I mean, that's how you work out what your opponent has, base it on previous action, and eliminate the other possibilities. And notice just that one 3-bet pre-flop has tightened her up. She's not raising so much now. So that's another effect that your 3-betting can have. It stops your opponent's raising too much, which is kind of nice. And no, but I expect to get a fold here. And I shouldn't fire a second barrel. She might have made a speculative call on like a king or something. That's got to be a good card, surely. I think I can now beat a 5 and a king, obviously. Alright, she folds it. So she just called to see, because it was a dry flop, basically. Fair enough, man. 3x, still deep enough to call. And horrible, horrible flop, which we'll give up on. This has got to hit her raising range pretty hard, you'd think. All yours. Alright, so still calling them in raise just because we're super, super deep. And it would be nice to flop something. It feels like I haven't flopped anything in a week. And this game's been pretty dry, and I'll give up here. I'm not even going to try and fire on the turn. All yours, Miss Poker. The dissonance abides. Alright, last time we got called on a flop like this. Let's see about this time. If so, I might think about a second barrel. But no. Alright, so this is a match that is just going nowhere. And I think I'm going to raise this, and yeah, I'll get it in. If she's got queens, kings, or aces, good luck. Just a flat call. Pretty good flop, you surely got to think, unless she's got pocket sevens. Oh, this is interesting. We've been called. I can't see how she's going to have a 7 here, but okay. And I don't know. Really interesting spot. I think she's going to have ace-x a lot here. If I get raised, no, I haven't been raised. And what did she have? She had pocket 4s. Okay, you know, fair enough, I guess. It was a pretty dry flop. Alright, so finally the match has broken. We've got a little bit of a lead, thanks to our pocket jacks. Check, we've finally hit a flop. Yay! And, alright, I'll raise it up. Hope she hasn't flopped 2 pair. Nope. Well, there you go, ma'am. That's what you get for being brave. You get sort of check raised. And now it's just going to be grind her down until hopefully we can catch a cooler. Long pause there, like she might have hit a 7 or an 8. Let's find out. Nope, just didn't want us to bet. Nice flop, but I'm not going to get my whole stack in here and just top pair against something like this. I'm just going to play it pretty slow, and now I might fire a second barrel here with that diamond draw. I don't want it to get a free draw. Yeah, okay, all good. Nothing to see here. Move right along. Let that go, and now we're not so deep at around sort of 30 whatever big blinds, or close to 40 big blinds, I guess. I'm going to be a little tighter pre-flop, and I will 3-bet this and get it in. It'd be nice for her to have ace-queen. I could just finish the match. And not the best flop at all. I'm going to fire and then give up if I get in the action. Ah, nice. So even though she's pretty tight, she has been calling my 3-bets, which is surprising. Down now at 30 big blinds roughly, and this looks like a nice safe flop for me to stab at, but not when she donks for full pot. All yours, Miss Poker. And we'll attack this just for fun. And she folds. Oh, fair enough. Still tight right up to the end. Good for you, ma'am. As long as she doesn't... she's doing the donk again. Alright, nice. We'll have to trap her with that. Or float it. And 3x. Let that go. This is going to hit her calling range a lot, but still worth firing, just because she's so tight. Alright, let's flop here, and if we do, I might try the donk myself. Gut shot and overcard. I'll call 100 here, and see if she fires the second barrel or not, or if I can catch, which I cannot. Check behind, please. Don't bet again. Good girl. And alright, not the best spot. Let's try and bet. Am I going to fold out a jack or a 10? Who knows? Yeah, like, I don't know what. I mean, am I folding out better hands here? I think I can fold out ace-x there. Don't shove, please. Yeah. Alright, so grinding her down around sort of 20 big blinds here, or a little more, 25 I guess, and I think she's getting a little bit frustrated too. Not much is working, and here we hit top pair. Is she going to donk? No. Alright, she's donked a couple other spots like this. Alright, I think I'm getting it in. Could be underestimating the tight player, but I think she's fairly frustrated. And yeah, we're ahead here. An 8, please. Oh, lovely. Alright, so that's the third match. Surprisingly sort of tight players at this level, so if you're sitting around playing the 5s and 10s and you're wondering should you try moving up, well, the players don't look that impressive to me. Would definitely be worth a go. And should you try deep stacks, yeah, you can afford to be a little spewy when you're deep, because you can really get paid off by these sort of players. So if you're thinking about deep stacks, give them a crack. And if you're thinking about moving up to the 20s, I think the deep stacks are not a bad idea. Alright, take care, and the next video should be a higher level deep stack video. So until then, run good.